Hello and welcome to another episode of Beyond Loss, Loving Life with Karen Chaston. I'm Karen Chaston and it is so great to have you here today. I'm going to deep dive into a little process that I love to do with all of my clients when they work with me to move beyond any kind of loss. And let me know where you're from. As always, love to hear from you. But as I said, today we're going to deep dive into the fifth step of my Beyond Loss programs, which I have called the gift of loss. And I know that many people feel that the gift of loss seems like a funny name, especially after I have lost my son. But the gift is not in the actual loss event happening in your life. It is more about who you become moving forward. And that's what we're going to be sharing with you today is great ways that you can not only reconnect to you and revitalize your life, but also ways that you can sort of start to create the life of your dreams, a life that I'm pretty sure most of us have been dreaming about for most of our life, or certainly for most of our adult life, if not before then. So hi, Jess, great to see you here from Griffith. Hi, Kerry, great to see you here as always. I think you're my most regular person to show up for my show, and I really do appreciate that. So thank you very much. So let's get started. But before I do get started, as always, I like to pick a card for the group today, and I love to pick them from these beautiful cards by Marcia Quinton, which are the guided, channeled spiritual guidance cards by Marcia Quinton, Quinton. And today I have chosen the guide number 30. Just before I come on, I just pick it. I don't even read it because I love to read it and find out what it's all about at the same time that you do. So today we have the guide, and it says, let me hold it here so you can actually see it. A spirit guide has crossed your path. Your spirit guide has reached out and called to you. They've touched a part of your heart and soul. Within your mind, they have awakened you to their wisdom and strength. You are not alone on the journey of life. They are with you every step of the way. I don't know about you, but I find that so comforting to know that we are not stepping by ourselves, that we actually have guides with us all the time. They are with you every step of the way. Open your mind and feel their presence, love, and light. They are waiting to guide you along this spiritual journey. It is important to know that as you become aware of their presence, they share with you the essential energies and power of Source. At times, they will shift and change. The sharing of light and energy helps to define their soul presence, Presence, presence. So how beautiful is that? Hello, Tanya and Janine. Yes, it is great. Great to see you here. Tanya from Cairns, not sure where you are, Janine, but great to see you here as well. So this is an amazing card because it really is showing us that in these most unusual times, we do have guides, we do have past loved ones, we have archangels, we have even elementals. We have so many beings around us all of the time. And it is about us taking the time to tap in and to feel their presence, to know that they are here to help you, especially when you are feeling in overwhelm, in fear, in feeling that it's really just all too hard. And, I don't know about you, but I never watch the news. My husband watches it all the time. I might hear snippets of it here, there, and everywhere. But whatever I do, I've really got to breathe in and I've really got to use all of my tools so that I don't go into the fear, into the anxiety that the media seems to be thriving on at the moment. So it is about you understanding that you do have your guides. You do hopefully have tools that can assist you to always come back to love, because it's important for us to know that love and fear cannot exist in the same realm. So the more that you can come into love, the more that you can love your life, the more that you can love what you're doing, the more you can actually jump out of bed and go, wow, I'm so excited about what I'm about to do today, as I did this morning, because I love this show every week and I love preparing for it. It is really, really great. So let's get I shouldn't say stuck into, let's deep dive into what we're about to share today. And hopefully you can stay all the time, but if not, that's okay as well. I totally understand. Oh, great to see you, Janine from Melbourne. Rightio, let me share my screen. And as always, it's all about making life more meaningful, memorable, and magical. Oh, Jane, all the way from the US. Okay, must be, I'm not sure where you are in the US, but I'm sure it's coming into your evening, if not late evening now. So as always, I am, let me get over here so that this starts to drive properly. Doesn't want to. Okay. So I am a Beyond Lost expert. I am a former CFO of a publicly listed company, which probably seems like there is nothing to do with each other. But believe me, there are so many things that I wish that I'd understood in my corporate days that I understand now, because life is a journey. From love to loss. It's a constant journey where we go from love to loss, back to love again, hopefully back to love again. And I'm going to say loss, hopefully back to loss again, because I have to say we learn and grow so much more from our loss events. And of course, there are over 40 different loss events that can affect all of our lives. So it's really important for us to understand that a lot of the times we don't even understand that, loss is actually happening in our life. It's a grief-causing situation. Hi, Letitia. Great to see you here. Fabulous. Where are you from? Glad you're here. As you will see, if you can stick around, it'd be great. I am a Beyond Loss mentor, and I love to be able to help people how to move beyond all of their different kinds of loss events in their lives. So let me go full screen on this so that you can easily see this. So as you can see, there's a lot of different loss events that can occur in our life. Some people may not even realize that they are a grief causing situation, that they can cause us to stop us in our tracks or wonder why we are feeling the way we are, wondering why we can't pick ourselves up and move on like we have in when other things have happened in our lives. But this is why I love to share this, not only this slide, but also the fact that we need to understand loss. We need to be able to go, do you know what? This is a grief-causing situation, and it's really important for me to take the time to actually understand that. Take the time where we can deep dive into what our feelings are actually trying to tell us. And our feelings are our friends. And the more that they come up, the more that they are guiding you that maybe this needs healing and this needs healing. And the more that we heal in our life, the easier our life comes. And not only that, the less loss events that we do tend to get in our lives, because we've healed everything. Our journey, our spiritual journey in coming to earth, more than likely we have fulfilled all of those spiritual lessons that we've come down here to gain. And that's what it is. Great to see you, Letitia from San Antonio. And I understand it's probably late over there. So hopefully you can stay around for the next 50 minutes or so. Rightio. So let's go back here to here. Right. So as I said, we're going to that's what we're going to do. I don't know if you remember on the first slide, love and loss were at different angles. So love was classed as being higher than loss, but you know what? When you understand loss, you can really have love and loss on an equal keel. And that's what I love to do, is to help people to understand that, because you will always learn from love and you will always learn from loss. Hi, Annette. Great to see you here. Another first timer. Woo! I love it when people come here, whether it's for heaps of times, as Kerry always does, or if it's your first time, because I love sharing my knowledge about loss. And let's face it, I don't think anyone leaves school going, I'm going to become a life coach who specializes in loss. But through my own many loss events, I found that most people don't know how to deal with loss. There isn't a lot of stuff out there. And that's why I was so driven to make sure that people could find a better way, an easier way to move beyond any kind of loss so that they can live and love their life. And that's what I'm sharing today, is the part on how you can create that better everyday life. So let's deep dive into the many gems that I am about to share with you today. And this is my Gift of Loss program. And as you can see, there are 5 steps. But today we're going to be concentrating on the pivot step. Okay, if you want more detail around the other 4, reach out to me. And what I'll do is I'll type in here let me just come over here. Yep. So I'll just type in here my email address. Just let me know in the heading or something that you saw me on this Facebook page, that you saw the show and you'd love to learn more about the Gift of Loss program or anything else that I do. Or, of course, you can always visit my websites, which you can clearly see at the bottom of the screen. But here's my email address. So please reach out. So today, as I said, we're going to concentrate on the pivot stage, which is how you can creating your better everyday life. And I've come up with 10 little things that you can start to do today. You can start introducing this into your life. And it's really important for us to understand that when we introduce new things into our life, new awarenesses, new things that we really would like to become a habit or a tool that we use every single day. I like to call my tools gems, obviously. It's really important for you to know that sometimes you'll be really good at it and sometimes you won't. And it's about you understanding that you're in competition with no one else but yourself. So when you start anything new, start to, put a line in the sand and see where you are at in whatever we're going to be discussing. And then start to monitor yourself and start to say, okay, well, I did this today. I wasn't all that great at it, but let me write down, the things that I will do exactly the same next time, the things that I'll change next time, and the things that I'll continue to do. So that way you've got that line in the stem and you're also upping it and upping it. So you can see your progression, because it's practice. Everything that we do is practice. No one is born being able to be perfect in their own mind. There's no such thing as perfect, but being skilled at doing what they're doing. In my corporate days, I used to sit back and I would never, ever stand out the front and talk. I would look at my CEO and I go, wow, look at them. How great are they? The things that they can do, the way they talk, the way they can, really handle a crowd and all those sort of things, handle an audience. And now I'm like, grab the hook and get her off the stage. So I held myself back. I didn't think I'd be able to do it. And the first time I did it, I wasn't, that great at it either. It was me learning and growing and accepting feedback and understanding that feedback is actually, it should be called probably feed forward, because it doesn't take you back, it takes you forward. And the more that we actually understand that it's benefiting us, the more that we can do it. So if you've got any feedback for me, give it to me, because I embrace it. So thank you. So as I said, we're going to really concentrate on the pivot stage today. We're going to go into the creating your better everyday life. And here are 10 little tips, 10 things that when you start to introduce these into your life, you will start to see that you are having a better everyday life. because it's important for you to have a better everyday life, because you are the only person that you will be spending your entire life with. Okay? So let's just sit on that for a sec. And it's really important for you to understand this, that 24/7, every single week of your life, you are the only person you spend that time with. No one else. There is no one with you continually like you are yourself. So it's time for you to start to develop skills and techniques and gems that will ensure that you can become your best friend. But more importantly, that you can achieve all of your hopes, dreams, and aspirations, that you're not pulling yourself back, you're propelling yourself forward. Because the more that we can propel ourselves forward, the more that we will achieve everything that we came down to achieve at this time. Okay? And we chose to come down here. We wouldn't be here if we hadn't chose it. Sure, life is really tough at times, really, really hard. But once you start to embrace the fact that you are the one who chose it, life really does start to get pretty awesome. Okay, so the first one that we're going to talk about, hi, Scott Shy, nice to see you. I accidentally clicked that. I didn't mean for that to come up. Right, so let's get started. Number one, speak up. So are you speaking up? Are you saying what you want to say? Are you really doing everything that you want to, like, with your voice? So often it's, we don't say what we want to say. We don't want to upset people, and we don't want to say no. And it's really important for us to speak up, to say what we want to say. There's an amazing song by John Mayer, and it's called Say. And in it, he says, say what you want to say what you want to say, even when your hands are shaking and your feet are numb and you don't want to move forward. Just say what you want to say. It's important. You have something to say. We all have something to say. But the more that we say it, the easier things get. And we may initially say it really, really quietly, but eventually we will find our voice. Our voice actually goes, all the way down our body. If you sort of think of our voice as a piano, you sort of turn it on its side, where we have the bass way down low in our belly, and it comes up to where we have it quite high. If you sort of think of when you speak through your nose, it can be quite nasally. So it's important for you to understand that the more deeper you go with what you have to say, the more that you pull it up from inside, from your belly, you can really feel it, and it will come out in the most amazing ways. So it's important for you to say what you want to say. Now, I want you to think about it. Just sit on this for a sec. Is there something that you've been putting off for days, weeks, months, maybe even years, that you haven't said what you wanted to say? It could be something nice, or it could be something not so nice. It doesn't really matter. But the more that you keep it dwelling inside your body, the more it has the potential to turn into disease. So it's important that you understand that if you have something to say it. Because otherwise, it's like you're drinking poison, expecting the other person to die because you haven't said what you want to say. And more importantly is, so often we think, oh, well, they know how I feel. They know what I want to say. No, they don't. No, they don't. How can they? We're not mind readers in this realm. So it's really important for us to say what we want to say. Because if someone is doing something that you don't like, or saying something that you don't like, until you voice it and tell them, they can't stop doing it. They will continue to do it. So this is really important. Okay, so what should I say? So long as you say it, it doesn't matter what it is exactly. And don't take responsibility for their feelings, right? So the way people receive things, it all comes back to them, and it actually says a whole lot of things about them. It'll come back to their beliefs, it'll come back to everything about them. So if you say it, especially with the intentions of saying it with love, right? And saying it for not only love for them, but for love for yourself, you are honoring yourself. And as I said, you're the most important person in your life. So say what you want to say and speak up. Okay, number 2, be honest with yourself. How often do we lie to ourselves? How often do we keep ourselves small? How often do we say, oh, it's impossible, there's no way I could do that? How do you know? How do you know if you haven't even tried it? How do you know if you've never done something before that you can't do it? So be honest with yourself. Say that, you know, the reason why I didn't do this is because I was tired. And the reason was I was tired was because I did all of this stuff yesterday, which wasn't, energy inducing. It was, not good for my body. It wasn't good for me physically, mentally, emotionally, or spiritually. So be really open and honest with yourself. Don't put the blame onto everyone else. Start to really have this honesty sort of check-in system with yourself so that you can actually turn around and go, do you know what? Why are you lying? Like, with yourself, right? I'm not telling you to call out anyone else. This is be honest with yourself. Because the more honest you are with yourself, the more that you will actually achieve all of your goals. And that's what this is about. That's what the pivot stage is all about, creating your better everyday life. So the number 2 thing is be honest with yourself. So speak up, be honest with yourself, right? Is there anything that needs explaining? Thanks, Shy. She absolutely loves number 1. Definitely one of the things I need to start doing. Look, most people, really do require this. Most people, it's so much easier to sit back, get angry within yourself, not speak up. But just remember, it's not only about you speaking up, it's also the way that you speak up. Really bring it down from your gut all the way up, because it comes out so much more. And it's not you shouting. It's not a shout. It just comes up with the depth of your voice. It's the resonance of the way that you say things. So really start to practice that. Okay, so that's number 2, be honest with yourself. Start really create a journal. Journal is the best way for you to be honest with yourself. And you can call yourself out. It's like you've got all these personalities inside of you, and you say, oh, well, today I did this, and I really have achieved everything I want to do. And you go, no, you didn't. You know what I mean? Like, you slacked off, you looked at social media for an hour while you were meant to be working, and you did this and you did that. You could have achieved so much more, but you decided not to. Just be honest. Because then you can get into a habit of really honestly looking at your day. And the more that you look at your day, the more you can actually say, oh, wow, this is where I really could improve. Like, I seriously wasted an hour here, whereas I could have got more done, or I could have actually gone home an hour earlier instead of sitting there and, wasting time and doing all these different things. So number 2, be honest with yourself. Right. Number 3, your talents. Wow. What are your talents? It's really important for us to understand that we are all completely different. We're all unique, and we are individuals. And the more unique that you realize you are, the more you can actually own your talents. Some people, we may look at movie stars or singers and people like that, and you just look at them and you go, wow, I wish I could sing like that. You're not meant to sing like that, but you are you do have some other talent that they can't do. And the more that we deep dive and the more that we stop comparing ourselves to anyone else, there is only one person in the world that you should be comparing yourself to, and that's what I call is yesterday me. So it's yesterday you, but it's really yesterday me. So if you start comparing yourself to yesterday me, you'll start to see how not only are you really enhancing your talent, but you are also actually really starting to change not only yourself, but the world, because you have an amazing talent that the world is waiting for. And, it could be something as beautiful as painting and you just hold yourself back. And, you're not being honest with yourself saying, well, I'm not very good at it. And you go, yes, you are. Like, just own it and know that your talent is what the world desires. You look at these people who have all these amazing different things and they've put themselves out there. It's not easy. I agree. But the thing is, they're out there and they're doing it and they're making a difference. And it could be just in one person's life that you can make a difference just by you, saying, well, here I am. I'm past 40 and I'm now starting to revel in my talents and I'm starting to utilize them. And I'm getting so much joy from actually doing them, from creating, because we are beings, we are creator beings. We were created by a creator in his image. We are creators. So the more that we use our talents, the more that we can create. And the more that everyone creates, the better the world will become. So really start to honor your talents and sing about them. Start telling people about them. Speak up. Tell people that, I can paint as well as so and so. I just choose not to share it. Or I can do whatever it is. I can write a book. I can do this. I can, share. I can read. I can do whatever it is. Start to really tap into your talents because there is a reason why you are really good at those things. Really. Remember that. Number 4, what are we going to do? Confidence. Okay. So often we lack the confidence enabled to be able to do those first 3 things. We stand back and we actually go, I'm not very confident. But if you notice what confident people look like, you notice that they stand tall, they put their shoulders back, they just walk into a room and they command it. Okay. Now, a lot of the time, they might not be as confident as what their body language is saying, but maybe sometimes it's the old fake it till you make it. But start to look at the way that you are standing. Are you hunched up? Are you covering up your heart? Or have you got your shoulders back where you're standing tall and you really, that alone makes you appear confident because you're standing up for the world to see. You might only be 5'1" like I am, or you could be 6.8 or 7.8. It doesn't really matter because the thing is that confidence comes from you continually doing it. It comes from the practice because the more that you practice, the more that you do it, the more confident you get. And it's like this cycle. But, as I said, maybe it's about you starting off being confident, even when you're not as confident at what it is, not as practiced or efficient at it as what you will be in a year or so, but start to embrace your confidence. Start to be honest with yourself. Why aren't you confident at this? What are the steps that you need to do to make you more confident at it? Write it down and then figure it out and then take those steps because the more you take the steps, the more confident you will become. It's really important. Confidence is really what sells more than anything else. Not that I'm saying that you're selling yourself, but what I'm saying is know that you are worthy. You're worthy to be confident of what you can do, especially when you are sharing your talents with the world because you are unique. No one else can do it in the way that you can do it. And know that. No one was meant to do it in the way that you can do it. Number 5, right? We're moving along here. Listen. Wow. Listen, I'm going to share a story. I don't know if anyone here has ever listened to Julia. I've just noticed your thing. Love some guidance, Julia. I don't give guidance as such, a spiritual guidance. What I do is I help people to move beyond any kind of loss and create their better everyday life. And that's what my show is all about. More than happy to have a chat with you. I'll put my email address up there. You can see my website. If you'd like, if you have some loss in your life, any kind of loss, and there are over 40 different kinds of losses, if you would like me to help you, to assist you on how to move beyond any kind of loss, I am more than happy to assist you and give you some guidance that way. Hope that helps, Julia. If not, I totally understand if you choose not to continue with us today. But thank you. I honor you and thank you for being here. Listen, okay, so I'm going to share a story about that I heard from Simon Sinek, and it was about listening. And it's really important that we all learn how to listen and also to be the last person to speak. Because when we're the last person to speak, we will learn so much. But not only that, we will respect and honour the other person because we will allow them to share their opinions. Now, there's a little trick for us to be able to listen and for us to really hear what someone else has to say. And that is for us, and it's not easy. This takes a lot of practice. It is for us to listen without nodding our head either way, in agreement or disagreement. Because when we nod our head in agreement or disagreement, it gets the person to either stop saying what they're saying or to keep saying what they're saying. But if there's other people who are also listening, just say we're in a little gathering, they will all start to form that opinion or they will share that opinion. They might not agree with it, but they'll share with it. So when you learn how to listen without reacting, you will actually get to hear what people have to say, the truth of what they have to say. It's their opinion. It doesn't mean it's right or wrong. It's their opinion. And it's not for you to say whether it's right or wrong because it's their opinion. It means in itself that it's their opinion. So therefore it's right for them. Okay. So the more that we listen, the more we will grow, the more we will be able to form opinions on different things. Okay, we can listen to all different perspectives and then we will be more informed. So then we can choose the best way forward for us. It may not be for someone else, but that's what life's about. So the more that you listen, the more you can happen. So the first thing for a listen is you respect the other person, but you will get to hear what they all have to say honestly, so that will enhance you to be able to make, a more informed option or the way forward for you. Because we don't know what we don't know. And so often we have our beliefs and we have our ideas formed without knowing all of the information. So the more you listen, the more you will learn, the more you will grow. And the more you grow, the more your life will grow, the more you will walk towards being able to create your better everyday life. So number 5 is really, really important. It's not easy. It's not easy for us to sit back and to listen. You can ask questions, ask as many questions as you want, especially questions like, so how did you come to that conclusion? I'm just having a little hard trying to figure out how you came to that. All right, so then they'll tell you. So then you're learning more and more and more. It's a great saying that I say, which is all about questions. Okay. The quality of your life will always come down to the quality of the questions that you ask yourself. Because for every question, there is an answer waiting to be revealed. And for every answer, there's an action step waiting to be taken. And for every action step, it moves you one step closer to your dreams, your goals, your hopes, dreams, and aspirations. And that's what life's about. So the more that you ask questions, right? After listening, ask questions. Listen, questions. Listen, questions. Keep your opinions to yourself initially until you're asked for them. But the more that you can listen, questions, listen, questions, the more you will grow, the more informed you will be. And that is how you will enhance your life unbelievably. So that's a really great tip, number 5. Okay, number 6, manage your time. Now, this comes back to number 2 about being honest with yourself. You know, at the end of each day, a really great exercise is for you to grab your journal and sit down and actually just sit down and just walk, close your eyes, take a couple of deep breaths deep down into your belly, release the day, release the tensions of the day or the fulfillment of the day, whatever the emotions of the day were, just release them so you can be totally present in the moment. And then you will understand, you can look back and you can walk yourself through every minute of the day with in mind asking yourself questions like, what did I do today that I'll do differently next time? What did I do today that I'll do exactly the same? What did I do today that I will stop doing? Okay. And then you can say, how did I manage my day? You know, did I look after myself? Did I, look after myself mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually? Because we are all those things. You know, did I look after my family? Did I spend time with my family? Quality time. Did I ask them questions? Or was I so rushed because I spent so much time at work because I didn't manage my time great at work that I got home late and I had to stay longer because I didn't look after myself yesterday physically. So I was tired today. You know, you got to really deep dive into, are you managing your time to the best of your ability? And are you, physically topping yourself up? Are you looking after yourself first before you give to everyone else? Or are you just always in constant, exhaustion because you are giving to everyone else? Deep dive into how you are spending your time. Your time is the most valuable resource in your life. It's more valuable than money. It's more valuable than gold. It's more valuable than relationships. Your time is the only thing that you can never get back. It's spent. It's a great little exercise that I love to do is just imagine that each day you are given $86,400. Every day you're given $86,400. But the proviso is that you have to spend it today. You can't carry anything over to tomorrow. Okay? That's it. You can do whatever you want with it. No one's going to tell you what to do with it. It's your $86,400. So what would you do with it on a daily basis? You can't carry anything over tomorrow. You can only spend it today. You can't save it for tomorrow because it's not going to be there. It fills up at the beginning of each day and it depletes over the day so that you have less and less and less. And then at the end of the day, you have nothing left. Well, each day you are given 86,400 seconds. So are you actually valuing your time? Because it's really important for you to start to realize it, that if I don't use it, I'm going to lose it. I can never get it back. It's gone. It's gone. And sleep is a very important part of it. So understand that your time is your most valuable resource. Moving on to number 7, which is no whining at any time. So I saw this lady who was talking about whining, and she created a No Whining Wednesday. And what happened was, if you started to whine or whinge and you started to, carry on and complain and also start to bicker about someone else and all this sort of thing, you had to put 25 cents into a jar. And she started it for a year. She said, okay, this is it. For 52 days this year, we're going to have a no whining Wednesday. And people all over the world started to adopt this philosophy. And she was receiving photos of jars of, how full they were, because every time, during the day, you could end up putting probably $10 in, all those 25 cents add up so that you've put $10 in. But once you start whining about anything, complaining about anything, start, carrying on or start, gossiping, all that sort of stuff. Everything's just got to be smooth, beautiful day. So she got these photos, but also what she got was this amazing sort of list from everyone of how much their life had improved, because they didn't realize before how much they did actually whine. And because they were doing this every Wednesday, they started to adopt it all the other 6 days of the week. So they started to realize how much better their life was, because they had stopped this negative thing, because it was bringing them down. And it was also, giving them a bit of excuse. Well, I can blame so-and-so, or I can whine about them and all this sort of stuff. It's not me. They weren't being honest with themselves. So that's one thing for you to start to do, is start to take note, not only on Wednesday, but on every day. How often are you whining? How often are you blaming everyone else? How often are you complaining about this or that or whatever? How often are you blaming your computer for whatever's going on? There's a great saying that, a poor master or poor artist always blames their tools. So start to actually look at how often are you whining? Something for you to really think about. The next one is learn to be present. If you are living in the past, you are living with regrets, more than likely. It can make you depressed. When you look back at your life and you start to actually become a little bit depressed, or you have regrets, or you're angry, or you can carry all of these, so many emotions. If you look into the future, you're starting to become anxious. Oh, will I have enough money for this? Or how do I do this? Or will I be able to get this? Or will I be able to do whatever? So you start to get anxious, because you're starting to realize, that you're starting to maybe run out of time. But more importantly, that maybe in the past you should have done things differently and would have made life so much easier for the future. Okay, especially as we all age and get closer and closer to retirement or anything like that. But when you're in the present, right, there is no fear, there is no anxiousness, there is no depression, because you're just enjoying the moment. Like this morning, I was really conscious, about this, because I put this together a couple of days ago and I was going over it all in my head and stuff like that. And I was standing in my kitchen looking out, and I'm so blessed. I purposely set it up this way that when I look out through my family room windows, I look out onto like a patio type thing. And it's got, heaps of flowers that my husband loves to put into, especially at this time of year. There's so many beautiful flowers out at the moment. So in a whole lot of different pots, there's all these beautiful flowers. But there's also a bird bath, right? And I love my bird bath. I have, in the middle of my bird bath, I have this beautiful white angel that's standing in the middle of it, and I just love her. But more importantly, the actual bird bath, I get a whole lot of birds. I could hear them from my kitchen, the birds singing. And then I looked into the bird bath, because I could see sort of water being flicked out, flicked out, flicked out. It was beautiful. And what it was there was these two little birds, and they were in there and they were like playing with each other. It was like they were like throwing water at each other. They were having a fun time. Now, I was totally in the moment. I just got a big smile on my face, and I was filled with gratitude and with love, because I was like, oh my God, every time I look out there, I just feel so beautiful how it is has been created. It looks amazing. I really, if I thought of it, I really could have put a beautiful photo up of it now. But that's what it's about. It's about you being in the present. Because when you're in the present, you'll be filled with gratitude. You'll be filled with love. You will be filled with hope. You will be filled with this certainty that everything is all right. And no matter what is happening in your life or in your family's life or in the world, everything will be all right. Everything will be all right. Sure, there may be a few twists and turns and this and that, but everything will be all right because we're all guided. We all have these amazing guides that are here with us, whether it's our past loved ones or the angels or the elementals or beings, they are all here. So be present, even if it's only for a couple of minutes a day. Just breathe in and just have some gratitude for where you're at, where life has taken you. Better move along. I've got a couple more, and here it is. What, 2:45? Yes, it is. Number 9. Do you get enough sleep? So often we burn the candles at both ends and we wonder why life is so hard, why we're always so tired, or we have to stay up and watch the next episode of this amazing series. I can't wait till tomorrow. We're in a world of instant gratification. So, Kerry, not enough sleep. Right. So now's the time for you to actually know how many hours sleep. On average, they say between 7 and 10 hours, right? And we all have our little sweet spot. It could be 7 hours. It could be 9. But it's important for you to know what your sweet spot is so that you then know on the night before, when you know what time you have to get up, and more often than not, it may be the same time, but certain days you'll get up earlier or later. So it's important for you to actually look at your calendar and go, right, tomorrow I am going to rise at 6 a.m. I require 7.5, 8 hours sleep, 9 hours, whatever it is. Calculate whatever that time is backwards and say, right, if you're getting up at say 6 and you need 9 hours sleep, you go to bed by 9 p.m. It's that simple. It's not that hard to work it out. And then what happens? And then you say no to everything else that will keep you up past that time. Okay? And ideally turn off some sort of devices before so that you can actually go to bed and go to sleep. And I'm going to give you a really good way to actually go to sleep. I started this at about this time last year. And it works like a treat. I hop into bed. I obviously say goodnight to my husband and whatnot. And then when I lie down to go to sleep, I close my eyes and then I consciously, from my home out to the world, I just bring the whole world into my arms. So I end up holding the world in my arms, visualizing the whole world, visualizing countries, visualizing people that I know in different parts of the world. And I send love and gratitude and just say thank you for being here at this time. And then more often than not, I'm asleep. I don't even remember anything after that. Greatest way I have known to go to sleep instantaneously. That's my gift for you today. If you find that you are not getting enough sleep and you need to figure out what your sweet spot is for sleep, 7 hours, 8 hours, 9 hours, 10 hours, you figure out what it is and then just do that little exercise before, like in the early evening or late in the afternoon. Right, tomorrow, just look at your calendar. Right, I need to be up at whatever time it is, 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 7 a.m., whatever time it is. Most mornings are different. Just say, right, I am rising at this time. I need to be in bed by this. 9 p.m., 9 p.m. rise at 6. That's 9 hours, more than enough for most people. Then do your little exercise where you just bring the whole world into your arms, gather it in so you've got the whole world just in your arms. Send love and gratitude, peace, blessings, healings, whatever you want to send to the world at this time. Just imagine what would happen if we had almost 8 billion people do that every night, right? It would go on all day long because of the different time zones. Just imagine what you could do. Exactly. Okay, Kerry, you're up at 4:15 a.m. So how many hours sleep do you need? What time are you going to bed? Because more than likely, if you're going to bed at, say, 10 p.m., that is only 6 hours sleep, which is more than likely not enough. So it's up for you to bring it forward. And maybe what you need to do is say, okay, let's figure out exactly what my ideal sleep time is. So bring it forward an hour and then maybe forward another hour, and then you can see. And of course, you can always have your nana naps during the day if you need to. And your nana naps, half an hour could be amazing. It will revitalize you for less. Okay, number 10, empathy. Do you have empathy in your life? Now, empathy is this amazing gift where we have the ability of putting ourselves into someone else's shoes, right? Sure, we haven't walked in their shoes, but what is really great is that we can actually empathize with what they're going through at this time. Now, I don't want you to feel that you have to take on what is going on in their life. No, set up your boundaries so that you don't take on, because if you do, that's only going to drain you. No, you can have empathy without taking it on, right? So that you can put yourself into their shoes, you can feel where they're at and everything like that. And then when you go on, you can do a practice of you releasing it. Okay, very important that you do that. You don't want to be carrying around someone else's life. You've got your own life to live. But what happens is when the world has empathy, we have more understanding. It brings us closer together, but it creates a world that we all want to live in because we can all empathize with each other. We can see where they're at. We can be also very grateful that maybe we're not living their life as well, which also helps us, and I'm sure that a lot of people look at your life and go, oh my God, I'm glad I'm not living their life. Believe me, we all have things, we all have trials and tribulations in our lives. And I'm a great believer, and you don't have to believe this, but I'm a great believer that you will never, ever be given anything that you cannot handle. And that really helps me because believe me, I've had a lot of stuff, like all of us, thrown at me. But I know that it's there. I've decided to work through it. So that's what's happening. So that is our 10 top tips on how you can start to create your better everyday life. They're really, really simple, really, really, really amazing, and it's simple. So here they are in one great slide. So if you want to take a photo of that, and then you can start to choose the things that you'd like to start working on. I'm not saying do the whole lot of them all at once. If you feel that you're always tired, maybe do number 9 first, because once you start to get enough sleep, you will be energized and you will be able to manage your time better, or start to have extra time to be able to start to be honest with yourself, to deep dive into where maybe you're not being that way. So that is today's, right? And because we always like to give more than expected, here is number 11. Have gratitude in your life. The more that you bring gratitude in your life, the more that you will have things to be grateful for in your life. It really is that simple. When my son passed away back in 2011, I was, angry for a long time. And when I left my corporate life and started on my life coaching journey, that's when I started to write in a gratitude journal. And what I found was I loved my gratitude practice so much, but I didn't like the journals. They were really pretty on the outside, but on the inside, they were just plain pieces of paper. So I literally created my Elements Collection Gratitude Journal, which, as you can see there, is the covers for the 4 of them. But each page has different pictures and different sayings and a different chakra color for the day number, so you can tap into your chakra. So if you want to, just email me if you'd like to learn more about my gratitude journals. And as always, you can clearly see the website, the Chaston Center website.com, where you can go visit or just reach out. So that's it for today. Here we are, 55 minutes into it. What a great little show. If there are any more comments, thanks. Been doing my gratitude journal lately. Absolutely love it. I totally agree, Shai. It's such an amazing process because it really does not only set you up, it really does enhance you to see not only all the things in your life to be grateful for, but all the things in your life that you really may want to stop, doing now or change or enhance. That's the beauty of it. The more it just gives you a different perspective. So, as always, have an amazing week. Reach out if there is anything that you'd like to learn more, whether you'd like to deep dive into the gift of loss process, whether you'd like to know about the gratitude journals, or, of course, just anything. I'm here for you. So, as always, goodbye for now. I hope that you make your week until we see each other again. Just make it meaningful, memorable, and magical. Bye for now. Ah, that's the end.